that out the way before I bring myself on the screen and invite them on as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my guest. They're here. Good afternoon.
Good
Hey, good
afternoon.
afternoon.
How y'all doing?
I'm
Good.
doing
That's
good. How
good.
are you?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate y'all wanting to come on and share your testimony or story about, this, the effect that it has with gun violence that it affecting, people firsthand. And, you know, um, Shawn, if you want to tell the people a little bit about yourself before we get in the topic, and then you can introduce your son as well.
Okay. Um, of course, I'm Captain85's youngest daughter. Um, and It's not much to say about myself. Pretty outgoing individual. I'm a talker like my dad. He's been trying to get me to come
Yes.
up here on this show for a long time, so I decided to go ahead and come up here. And I appreciate the invite, Dad.
Yeah.
And
Well,
son as well. His name is Pooh. We call him Pooh.
yeah. What's
We're
up,
up
Pooh?
here.
What's going on?
Yeah, nothing much, nothing much. Just another day in the city. But I
Yes.
really appreciate y'all want to come on and share your story because a lot of people, dealing. I mean, with me, I've been doing this for years with different topics that face the Afro American community, and by having my kids, I study the things that they had to go through when they was young, and God allowed me to have seven. Uh, Children and 14 or 15 grandkids, and I feel like it's a duty to continue to try to bring information to the community to help them, with things they may not understand, and to get them to open up if they need someone to talk to, or sometimes just listening to someone else, and
Right.
not pointing fingers or you know talking bash about it. But because I had talked to my daughter, it's more or less this is her talk show today because she has the topics that she want to talk about and about this situation with gun violence and the effect. And you can go ahead and take it from there. I just wanted to.
Okay.
You
Okay. Well, basically, I'm just gonna give a brief summary, a short story of how this situation happened to me and my son as well. I was working one day. I got off early. I usually get off about 12 o'clock, and I was making lunch. When I got home, I got a phone call, and I answered the phone, and on the other line is the nurse. She's calling me, and she's like, "Well," all she keeps saying is, "Well, we have your son here. He's doing fine. He's back in X-ray. They're just doing X-rays right now, but he's okay." She never told me what was going on or anything. It took about 5 minutes because I'm thinking, "Oh well, he has COVID again. He's back in the hospital with COVID." So I'm
know,
like, "Okay, well." I'm thinking I'm still, I'm on my way up there anyway. So then she said something she said to me, and I was like, "Wait, what? What happened to him?" She said he's been shot. I'm like, "What? Wait a minute. When were you gonna tell me this? Like you called me telling me that he's in X-ray. You never told me that he had been shot." So I rushed to the hospital. Of course, they had like the hospital was basically on lockdown. I was met by police officers, and they proceeded to tell me what was going on, and that was that basically how that happened. But
Yeah.
that's how I found out my son had been shot, and yeah, it was on the news as well. But I had to deal with that, and that was a lot because it wasn't just him dealing with it; it was me dealing with it as well. From that, he had about four surgeries. He was in and out of the hospital. He had to have like four surgeries.
Fresh out of me.
The that included the fasciotomy. He's walking again, but he's still working on it. Like he still has a limp. But I wanted to bring some awareness to some people because the topic of PTSD in adults due to gun violence is real, and I see firsthand the effects of how it affected my son. Um, especially directly after the situation, loud noises that sound like gunshots or something like that would bother him. And I'm sure, like the neighborhood that we live in, like you heard gunshots all the time, and I'm is he like constantly. I was always checking on him in the middle of the night. Yeah, because he couldn't sleep. He would wake up out of his sleep, and it's quiet at night. But every once in a while you hear a gunshot, and he wake up in cold sweats and stuff like that. But with that being said, I had a few questions that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
And dealing with that. So, do you suffer from PTSD? And if you do, I wanted to know in what way does it have an effect on you?
Yeah, I do. And I was actually diagnosed by one of the psychiatrists. And I didn't know that could have had an effect, until later on. But I noticed that I was waking up out my sleep because I have a dream about something, just like similar to the situation, and I would just wake up.
So you were having dreams about what happened that was causing you to wake up?
Not necessarily what happened. It was like something like similar to it. Like, it's brought about in a different way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I would wake up like, just fighting out my sleep. And, it's just things that, comes with that,
So it affected you by you not being able to sleep.
Yeah, because I didn't get no sleep. Like,
is that the only way that it's been affecting you?
Mm-hmm. It definitely triggers like depression, you know what I'm saying? Especially me recovering, not just me recovering, it just triggered a lot of depression, because I'm not able to do a lot of stuff and like I used to, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so me being in the room recovering is just like, it's hard. And I told you, when I had COVID, I had to sit down and do the same thing. So, with that being almost like back to back, it was kind of like, I got real depressed and started getting a lot angrier, and I would
he would get really angry when he couldn't do if he couldn't move as fast as he would normally move, or like he used to wash my car for me, and if he couldn't get out there to wash my car, he would get so frustrated and angry, or just things that he would normally do on a normal daily basis he wasn't able to do. Yes, he would get really upset.
I tried to do that when I first came home.
Yeah. I couldn't sit him down. The doctor kept saying that he's not supposed to be on his leg. He's not supposed to be moving. And I couldn't sit him down. He wanted to continue going throughout life like nothing never happened. And he couldn't do that. And it was hard for him to deal with that. So I had to help try to sit him down. Like, you got to slow down.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself in order, you got to get back, but you can't get back if you're going to make it worse before it gets better.
Right now, I learned how to be a strong individual behind you. So, that's why I just be pushing my way through things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you still got to take care of yourself too.
Yeah.
So, but that's that question. And I wanted to know now, is that the only contributing factor when it comes to your PTSD, or have you seen violence firsthand and up front before?
Well, I'm gonna give you the instance like the other day, and we went to grab some food from somewhere, and a whole bunch of dudes outside the store had guns, and it just, to me, I feel like it's a threat, you know what I'm saying, to whoever don't have a gun, you know what I'm saying,
right,
at the time being, because that means that my life in your hands.
Right, and it's scary too, like, especially, say if you pull up and you have young children in the car, not only that, I mean, you gotta look out for yourself too.
Right.
So, but yeah, I understand that's scary.
Yeah.
And the neighborhoods that we've lived in.
Yeah.
I mean, you hear gunshots.
Shoot, you heard, and you grew up on everything that you done already seen. It's just like I done watched movies, and they like Yeah, I heard this every day. You know what I'm saying? And the first person, like, will think when they hear a gunshot, jump on the floor. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And you grow up in the neighborhood, that's not your first instinct because you done heard it before. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Well, my first instinct, I don't know. I mean, I heard it so much, and I always
yeah,
used to tell y'all get on the floor when y'all were kids.
yeah.
That was because y'all be around the windows. I remember one day, not it was probably like a year ago, and I came home from work, and it was midday. It was probably like maybe 1:30 in the daytime,
Mhm.
and they had my whole street blocked off. And the police detective, they had a shootout. I wasn't here, but when I had got here, I had to come through my back door. When I went out front, I seen that they were out there, and she was saying that they had a shootout. They were counting all the bullets, the shells that were in the street, and then they still were looking for the gunman. They say he had ran between the houses, and it's a school right here.
Yeah.
It's an elementary school right here, and so that's scary. But I
Uh,
don't.
I want to ask the question of Pooh, why, before you change the topic,
Okay.
why is it that people your age or your demographics, why are they carrying guns? Why do you?
I've seen a lot. I know a lot of younger people that's younger than me, right? Um, they do it off the strength of them trying to make themselves known to the people that are older than them that are influencers on their life. Like they see them doing something, you know what I'm saying, and they want to do it. They see that this such and such is going on, this shooting is going on. They feel like that should be a trend. You know what I'm saying? And
But
just like stolen cars, being out here, and people getting shot every day is just, because of not too many opportunities being brought about, to neighborhoods, as far as like the Black community, not just the Black community, it's in the community period.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's really the real reason why we see a lot of stuff nowadays, because when you're young, you ain't really got too much to do, especially during COVID now. You know what I'm saying? And uh, like if you're not a basketball player, then you're not gonna really take to doing anything else because that's what most people doing, or football. You know what I'm saying? So the next biggest thing is what you see on the street. You know what I'm saying?
And it's carrying guns.
Yeah.
Do you think that having more basketball courts or talent shows, or what do
Right.
you think that will try to maybe curtail the violence with youth?
What
Because
I think, what I think is like not just basketball courts. I'm thinking like producers, coming together and you know kind of, because there's a lot of people who make music. There's a lot of people who do basketball, football, sing, rap, and
So what do you mean talent shows?
not just talent. I'm talking about everything. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff that people can be creative, you know what I'm saying, and put their creativity towards instead of putting it towards something negative. It's a lot of people who got talent and they just throw it away because of something they seen in the street, and they feel like they should be subjected to do that because they ain't got nothing better else to do.
Mhm. So, I mean, I know they ain't handing out guns to people for free, are they?
Oh no, I'm gonna see, and I've seen it firsthand.
Mhm.
I've been around younger people who done this,
Mhm.
and that's why certain people, say lock a car up. A lot of people go out here at nighttime, and what you think they're doing? They say after, what is it, 12 o'clock? That's the devil hour, right?
Which what they used to say.
Oh, three
Used to,
o'clock.
you call it,
I
call it
mean,
witching hour.
Witching
well,
hour is 3 a.m.
see,
But after 11 o'clock, there's nothing good going on.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that's why I say, they go in the cars and they search a car, they looking for money, they looking for anything they can get viable towards them, and it just don't, it's not a good outcome if they find a gun in a car.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
you is it the lack of jobs or resources to make money or
Yeah.
you know?
And it got to do with a lot of things, and I've heard somebody tell me this, and they was like, they rather be independent, like they want to work for themselves and be like entrepreneurs,
What's the
because
lack of influencers?
yeah,
And
everybody want
people
to,
in your life. Like we got a lot of kids out here that do have a lot of talent, but they don't have anybody in their life that's giving them that oomph.
right,
Telling them and showing them the right direction on which way to go. Like, you want to do this? Okay, well, this is what you should be doing. This is the steps that you take to get there. Or, and especially the ones that we see that are out here on the streets doing the wrong things. There's so much talent out here. And the talent is going in the wrong direction. It's not
right,
only because of their friends and what they see their friends doing, because that don't mean you have to follow your friends
right.
because
It
of
can
what
happen.
you see them doing. It's just, sometimes like they might be going through something at home and they might have a depressed day where they feel like, well, dang, I'm gonna go out here and hang with one of my friends, and they just see something that their friends is doing. They might just be with their friends one day and their friend decide they want to rob a bank, and they're in a bad mood. I'm gonna go with them and rob this bank. I need the money right now. Nobody's hiring me. These jobs out here aren't hiring me.
That's the next thing they
Stuff
go
like
to is
that.
robbing people.
And just because you make a bad choice don't mean that you can turn your life around.
Right.
You can always turn your life around. We all make bad choices and we learn from our mistakes. Most of us do anyway. But it's the lack of jobs. It's the lack of people out here encouraging people
Influences.
to do the right things. Because I've seen adults older than me out here call themselves gang leaders. Okay, older than me call themselves gang leaders, and they got 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, teenagers following them. I'm like, are you serious? Like, this is what we're doing these days? So, yeah, like I see a lot, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think well it's like they said in one of my comic books I wrote, because it's what they usually say in the Black community, it takes a village to raise a child.
Definitely
But
right.
I think when I finished that part, I wrote, but today the village is raised by children.
Right. It's the
Children
other way around.
Children.
Yeah.
But in your incidents, you're saying the adults out there telling children now to become gang members.
And some out there.
Yeah.
And they're feeling like they have to prove themselves. And that's where all this gun violence comes from. A lot of it anyway. They feel like they have to prove
Falsely
themselves.
influenced.
And it's sad. It's sad because it's a trickle down effect. It's a trickle down effect. Because these young kids out here, then they're having kids. What are they going to teach their children? What do you think they're going to teach their children if at their age they're following a 40 or 50 something year old that think that gun violence and being a gang member is still something to do?
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, they still need guidance at that age. And, we're continuously learning, regardless of what age we are. But at that age, you should know better, Lead by example is what I always teach my kids. You lead by example. And if you're going to look up to somebody, just make sure that what they're doing
is positive.
Is positive.
Right.
And productive.
Yeah.
Right.
Because as I grew up, my influence was mostly, when I grew up, we was in the house in junior high or high school. We was in the house by 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, when I was coming up, it was when them street lights came on, and sometimes it was 7:30.
Yeah. That too. But we sitting on the porch. I mean, we sitting on the porch, but when it get 9 o'clock, you going to bed.
Right. That's right.
Watching TV.
Yep. That's true. And somewhere down the line, along the line, we lost that. We lost raising our kids that way. And if not everybody, but if some of us could get back to that, we could try to start making things a little bit better in our communities, because I know a lot of things don't shut down until late.
Right.
But in some kids, like even my daughter, I have a daughter that's 14, and she wants to be up late at night, and she's on YouTube and TikTok.
And those are
Like
bad
10 o'clock,
habits.
11 o'clock, and she's doing her little dances and stuff. Of course, I watch her, but we could get back to having set times where, okay, 10 o'clock is your shut off time for this, or 11 o'clock is your shut off time for that. Like we have school getting ready to come up, and we could get our kids back to,
The
getting
spirit.
back on. We got to get ready for school schedules,
Right.
but yet these children want to stay up all night.
They feel like summer should be happening all
2,
year
3,
round.
4, 5 o'clock in the morning, they still up. Like,
Shoot,
what
I
are you
know
doing up at this time of night?
I know she had trouble getting me up.
Yeah.
I ain't never want to get up, but I love being there. You know what I'm saying? Getting education. So that's the biggest thing, and the biggest thing, should be your goal.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? It's making sure you have your education.
But Dad, you be doing stuff too. Like, what's the next thing that you have coming up as far as like stop the violence and stuff like that for the children? I know you do it for the youth. Is he still here?
They,
I still. Dad, I can't see him. I'm not exactly sure where he went or if we're still online.
but yeah,
So I'm not sure if we're still being recorded. He didn't say anything, and I can't see or hear him. So I'm just waiting to see if he comes back online. I lost my voice from that. I had an allergic reaction. So I'm barely talking. I'm talking in like a whisper. So
yeah, that's how most of this stuff happens out here.
it is. It definitely is. And with that being said, I'm not sure if we're still being recorded, but I'm going to go on with the last question.
Okay.
And the last question is going to be, now, if it was something that you could tell someone else that suffers from PTSD to help cope, maybe using your own coping mechanism, what would it be?
To remove everything as far as stressors in your life, because that can cause you to be angry, and just keep yourself uplifting. You always got to make sure you uplift yourself, because that's when you get depressed, you think, that in that stage, you think the less of yourself. And, that's when people get into their low modes, and it can lead to suicide, and
Right.
I known somebody who went through that phase and not knowing what they went through and what they had to go through. And, just over time, me actually going through the situation too myself, that's when I kind of figured out, okay, now I know what this person might have gone through a little bit, as far as not even knowing the situation,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would tell somebody, on the other hand, as far as stress, don't get stressed. Try to find things to overcome your stress, like do productive things, away from like to beat your stress,
Mm-hmm.
And one of my coping mechanisms is going to the gym and doing beats and, writing music. I just like to do things in productive ways, what I'm saying, washing cars and
So that help you keep your mind off of the stress of it all. Okay, I understand that. I can understand that. All right. Well, it was just a small discussion on the PTSD that adults do actually suffer from PTSD, and I wish there were more help out here for our adults, because they need it just as much as our youth. And we don't want to wait until an incident or a situation may occur with a parent or a girlfriend or wife or a friend or a family member have to run out and let the police know, that there's some mental
Right.
issues going on
Yeah,
here, so that
because
they don't get shot, or they're
right.
suffering from PTSD and this is why this person is acting this way. Please don't shoot,
Right. And
because that happens a lot.
a lot of people go off for just a person actions, and not asking the right amount of questions,
Right.
and
Well, they don't know you when they're pulling up. All
right.
they know is the situation that they were told that was happening.
Right.
So they're just doing their job, but um, you have to be quick to let them know, okay, he suffers from PTSD or he suffers from a mental disability. Just please don't shoot,
Right.
because then they might, it's, I've seen like that guy that it happened to out, I think one of those parks. And I think his girlfriend had to run out there and let them know. But they said that it was happening a lot. It happened all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular officer knew him, and that's what saved his life. And thank God, you got some officers that take the time to get to know some of these people in their communities. So, if the police is ever called and they have to approach them, they already know what's going on with them.
Right.
Because they took the time out to get to know the people in their community.
And that's what I think they should be able to communicate. And, instead of being subjective, be more like mindful of what's going on in the community.
Right.
And take initiative instead of, making us a statistic, because I feel like all of this wouldn't go on, all this stuff wouldn't go on if we had everything we needed, as far as to get us to where we need to be at. Not just like a helping hand, you know what I'm saying, to, give handouts or nothing like that. I'm saying as far as like, steps and road, like, how the teacher used to say, writing your journals and stuff like that. Just basically stuff like that gets you prepared for the future, because the future is currently changing,
Right.
and we got to live based on that, based off them changes. So,
yeah, that's true. So moving forward, do you feel like you've what you do to help cope with your depression and stuff, has it helped?
yes, it has.
Okay.
I love being, well, it just so happened that I'm hyper.
Do you have friends that deal with that? I know some of your friends, but do you have some that actually deal with,
Eli.
adult? Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He does. He actually does. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Because we both grew up in, like, doing the same thing. That was, that's my, it would be my best friend, but I got two best friends, but,
But yeah, he does. No, he's young.
Mm-hmm.
He's young. So that just goes to show.
It can happen at any age.
Mm-hmm.
And, I really think the way, like in Chicago and Los Angeles, Michigan, Detroit, just in different areas, I think we have like that situation going on everywhere. And it's not just in Virginia. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Well, what I will say is check on your people, your friends and your family members, even if it's not a friend and it's somebody You may think you just need to check on. Could be a neighbor or somebody that works at a store that always looks sad or something.
Right.
Check on your people. I mean, we got out here in these communities is each other. So check on your family members, From time to time, you gotta always be worrisome, but
Yeah, you gotta pick your head through
pick
the
up the
window.
phone sometime and place a phone call.
Jump out the bushes.
Right. That's true. Oh yeah, he good for this one. But you'll be at the store, minding your own business, and he'll come popping up in the store, Walmart. You be at Wawa. How you know I was here? Like you got a GPS on you.
That's God moving me.
Mm-hmm.
God tell me where the loved ones at.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, you back?
Yeah, had to switch over to another internet. We have two different internets in the house.
Okay.
That's never happened before, but that's how the devil works.
Hey,
Trying to stop us
they
from good
always
work.
trying to stop a good flow.
Yeah, what this has never happened. I've been doing this broadcast for like 3 to 4 years. I've never been get into a topic and it just go down. Never happened.
That's to me that's a good thing.
So I do apologize. I apologize because it's never happened before. I don't, because Alex was upstairs. He sent me the other code. He says, "Oh no," I said, "It's showing on my computer that I'm connected."
Mm-hmm.
And I had to drop that one and go to the next internet service. But nevertheless, we was back. I forgot where you were engaged in the conversation with where you were. Again, we are talking about PDS.
PTSD.
PTSD. We had did the last question because it said that we were still live. So I was like, in case that we're still live, let's just do the last question.
Yeah. It's still live. I think it'll be up there. I think.
Okay.
Because if it was live, then you was broadcasted until I brought you went back into the studio and connected again. But that was technology that's far beyond my control. But again, Shawn and Pooh, I want to thank y'all for coming on, and we can continue with the conversation. So to be able to help families and young people that might view this on Facebook and YouTube, that they'll be able to open up and talk to. Do you think most people that go through this trauma, do they talk to their parents?
Not at all. It's a self thing. People feel like they're not, they just feel some type of way, and they don't want everybody in their problems and, feeling
like he's a problem solver anyway. So he was in a box and that made his box even smaller, if you could understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He already, sometimes it's like pulling teeth trying to get stuff out of him. But then knowing that he was going through something, it was even worse. So it made his box smaller. So I had to go to him and check on him. That's what I was just saying, like check on your people.
Right.
Because, I had to go and check on him. Are you okay? Is it something you want to talk about? Are you sure? Because you could see the difference. You could see that he was suffering and mentally, not just physically. And I didn't want to, keep pushing the issue, but I did want to, I wanted to let him know, I'm right here. So I'm not, whenever you're ready, just come talk to me. And then, so I had to wait on him this time. Yeah, I had to wait on him.
Yeah, it's a hard thing, especially in those low moments, because it's hard to communicate. You feel like, everybody trying to attack you. You know what I'm saying? And so you just like certain people that you close to, they feel like, oh, you trying to be funny and this, that, and the third, and it's not even the case. You know what I'm saying? Is, what that person feeling emotionally, you know what I'm saying? And that's just, how I took to the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, because I've been covering, a lot of the, you know, uh, activities that we're gonna stop the gun violence, inviting young people to the, to the table or to come out to talk about it. But sometimes, I notice when they have a panel, maybe 2 to 5 people, young people on the panel, some
Mhm.
will engage and some will, I changed my mind. To me, how can you take back the community if you're not talking to the people in the community?
Right.
Let me ask you a question. This is directed to Pooh because, Pooh, do
Mhm.
you watch the news?
I watch.
Mm.
Well, I used to watch the news,
Mhm.
but my way of watching, I get news outlets sent to my phone. So
Mhm.
I watch it from there,
Right.
and I mainly watch things that's going on in this world, like war news
Uh-huh.
and what's current, like what's going on as far as politics.
Uh-huh. But do you?
Um,
But do you? But for the local news,
mhm.
in the 757, which do you watch those channels to get engaged with? As I said, they are always on the news now.
Yeah, Wavy
Take
10
back the
News.
community. We got to take back the community. If the young people are not watching the news, how are you going to take back the community?
Right. I mean, see, I watch all angles. I
Mhm.
watch Rhoda Young live. She used to
Right.
be my bus driver.
Oh,
So,
okay.
I
Yeah.
watch her all the time.
Yeah.
And she's another outlet of what's going on in the community.
Correct.
And then, I watch my Wavy 10 News, just to see what's going on. And, I see a lot of shootings going on. And that's mainly, you know, almost every night, every other night or every night.
Yeah.
So
So how do both of y'all feel about when? I mean, I watch the news religiously.
Me
That's what I
too.
do.
I'm up at 4. Look, I'm already up at 2. When I'm off, I'm up watching the 4 o'clock news, 12
Yeah.
o'clock news, 6
But
o'clock news.
how do you feel when you hear the people that run the city taking, I mean, as y'all work or engaged in paying taxes, how do you feel that the city want to pay people from other cities to come here to solve the problem that's here? How do you
that
feel about
shouldn't that shouldn't I feel like that shouldn't happen. If they can do it, they supposed to do it. This
that? Right,
their city. You know
right,
what I'm saying? And this all of our city,
right.
that live in the 7 cities.
Right.
So, I feel like all of us as cities, not just one city,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying, should, you know, all get into our communities,
Right,
not just come over from your community to come to our community. We
right.
should have our stuff, situated and,
Mhm.
and standardized.
Yeah. But this is not even from the local cities coming into the cities. This is people from other states coming here. Like, to me, that's an insult to the
Right,
intelligence of the parents, the police department, the people that's supposed to be taking care of these situations. You're telling these people that y'all are not capable of handling the problem.
right. And they definitely making us look bad because that's something they should be doing.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to arrest all the black men, that they need to focus on a strategic plan to go ahead and do whatever needs to be necessarily done.
Yeah. To me, it's an insult because when you raise, as your mother has raised y'all, the kids, and I raised my kids and stuff, and my kids are raising their kids, which is part of the generation. But you're insulting me and the professional people that I do know in this area to tell them, oh, y'all are not capable of solving this problem. It's not our problem, it's your problem. You run the
Right,
city. So
Right.
why are you on city council? Why are you the mayor or the chief or the police
right.
department? And you bringing people from the other states to tell people here what needs to be done. And they're not here every day.
Yeah, and they belittling themselves.
Thank you. Hello. That's what I'm saying. See, I didn't want to say it. I just want to ask the question. And if you can see that, then
Yeah.
that means I'm not too far off the I'm not too
You
far off
ain't,
the
yeah,
track.
you ain't far off the train. Now you got
You know, that's the same thing by, I always bring this experiences up because 40 years of being in the nightclub business, majority of the people that started opening up clubs would start bringing in DJs from other cities
right.
and telling you, well, I'm bringing these people in, but you got to pay $50 or $100 to get in to see them. And they get in there, they're playing the same music that the DJs hear.
Right.
But you want to charge a larger price. You're fooling who? Who you fooling? Like I used to tell people when I ran a club, people were like, please charge this, charge this. I'd rather pay 50 to stand in line. I don't want to stand in line with this person or that person. I got money. I'm not
Right.
doing that. You can stand in line and be respectful. They standing in line, you can stand in line.
Right.
So when these things occur, to me, it's an insult to the people because as I was brought up in a family, my mother always said, with kids, she would say, okay, y'all go in the other room and play. It's not time for y'all to be around grown folks because young people listen to what you're saying and doing.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, and then they go out and start doing it, you trying to figure like where they get that mess from. Well, maybe when you was running to the club and telling people, this and that, you are insulting this. You're insulting this community. It's a lot of talented people here.
It is.
It's a lot of educated people here.
You'd be
But
surprised.
you're saying, well, we got to go to another city and get somebody to come in here and solve this gun violence.
Right.
But how come you ain't solve it? You just gave one organization from New Jersey $180,000 in Portsmouth.
They did
then you bought back their program that the government said wasn't working and they abandoned it. So what are you doing with the money when you don't even have money? The kids don't have recreation, don't have jobs. All that money that you spending, you could have gave them summer jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Give them some activities to keep them engaged in positive activities. But it's like, to me, that's the way. This is how money escapes. Our tax dollars are being used
against us.
Basically. And yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it get used against us because now I remember when I came from work one day, a guy showed me a piece of paper of a plan they was trying to make. It was I felt like it was just a bribery, thing, because it was like, in order for you to get like a casino, that would be the plan for Norfolk, but instead they was like, okay, we're gonna do what's them like and internships and just like being and getting trades, for different things like being a brick mason and stuff like that for just the younger generation, and not just the younger generation, people who already are established already. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like that was kind of like, a bribery of trying to get us to, come together, which was a good thing, in a good sense, but a bad thing at the same time, because, we need more than just a casino. We really need a lot more education and people who take time to sit down with everybody who need that, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it's a lot of people on the streets right now who doing the best they can for themselves, who did not get the proper education because when they was in school, teachers didn't really want to take heed to sit down with a individual one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? Because when you got a classroom, you got to be subjected to all your students.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, they only just do certain people. They feel like certain people are subjected, and that's where the outcome comes in life. You see only people who feel like they should be above people, and that's when you get that.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, is to me, it gets insulting to me when you're saying that I got to bring somebody from another state to help with this gun violence. So you saying your chief, your captain, your lieutenants, none of them know what they're doing to resolve the problem. You know, then why they still had a job? If you're the city manager, that's you getting $100,000 or $200,000 a year salary. It's your job to come up with those solutions. But your solution is let me pay somebody in another city $100,000 to come in to tell the city here how to solve the problem. And it's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going on. So basically, you just taking money.
Right. You're taking taxpayers' money that's here to support the community, and you're spending it the way you want it with no results.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure violence is very prevalent in our community. Is every day, is every 2-3 hours something going on. Because I know they keep Rhoda running. She all over the place. The Andy Foster's had a hard time. He ain't as young as he used to be. He can't keep up. You know, they got to hire 2 or 3 people just to keep up with Rhoda.
Outlet.
Yeah, instead of giving Rhoda a regular desk job to do it, to pay her. You cannot beat when you're in the streets. Right. See, when you get when you're in the street and people know you, they support you.
Right.
Just like the police department. If you in the community, the way you should be controlling it, or controlling it, then the people will know that, hey, that's Sergeant Melvin there.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. Like if they took the time out to be in the community more because of just like the gun violence, and we were saying to the effects of the guy that had PTSD, and they kept calling the police on him in the area that he lived in, and his wife had to run out there and say, hey, he suffers from a mental disability. He has PTSD. Don't shoot. This is why he's acting this way.
Right.
Now, if it was one police officer that's always out there in that community, he took the time to get to know this person. So he knew.
Right.
Upon arriving, instead of just arriving to a situation, he was arriving and he knew the person and his situation. Mm-hmm. But if you have more officers out here that took the time to be out in the community, to get to know the people that's in the community, you know, you can actually make some change. You're not going to make it perfect, right? But you can make some change.
And it's not going to be as quick as you think it be. You think, oh, because I stopped this is just automatically going to stop. It's an overtime occurrence.
Yeah, because it's not overnight. And 2, you know that, this problem exists. Why don't you have a department for that specific problem? The police is not medical or mentally trained to handle that. Theirs is protect and serve. Right. So now when he come on the scene, I ain't got time to deal with this. Okay, I'm scared. Bye.
Right. See, they say they are. Remember the guy that came in one time?
Let me show you what scared is. Scared is what happened in Texas. With 100 and some police going into a school with one man having assault rifle, and they just stand there and let the kids get killed.
And see, this the thing. They get them kids on the street that got the guns that ain't scared to shoot. Put them on the police force.
Hello.
And those are the ones you see in there.
Hey, look, and I was just saying
that. They wouldn't have took an hour to get in there.
Look, or in the military, like, instead of having now I feel like certain people should be in jail or prison or whatever, but certain people, you going to jail for, a simple gun assault, weapon. Join the military.
Yeah.
I hold them captive like we still in slavery.
Yeah, but that's the point. I didn't want to say it, but I ain't told you. But that's the pipeline to prison. Mm-hmm. See, they used to let young black men, if getting in trouble, they had 2 choices when they went to court.
Right.
The judge would say, you have a choice to go in the military or you go into jail.
Right.
I'm gonna give you a few minutes to think about where you want to go.
They need to do that now.
That's why with so many people in the military, black, during the Vietnam War and wars leading up to that, But at a certain time, I think back in the late 80s or 90s, no, late 90s, they said you had to have GED.
Right.
If you didn't get your GED or college degree, you are not allowed to join the military.
Right.
So they always come up with these plans
Right.
for the pipeline to prison because they privatized them. When they privatize the prison, that means the state has to pay for those beds, even if they empty. If ain't nobody in them, they still got to pay for them. Anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000 a year,
and that's why
per president. So if
Right.
I got a cash cow, that's the cash cow, because the government is paying for you to be not you, but young men and women to be incarcerated,
Right.
and they're getting billions of dollars to incarcerate you, and
Right.
then that's cheap labor,
Right.
because
That's
they
true.
only pay people like 10 or 28 cents a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
They need to put the guns down.
Yeah.
Dog, I ain't got no gun. I ain't got no fingers. I'm gonna keep my hand like this. But I don't want to do this. You might say
Yeah.
you threaten me. Or I forget, if I do this, then I want to fight you. I can't win.
Yeah.
So what
And
are
then-
y'all? I mean, I'm asking this question to both of y'all. What do you think the solution should be when it comes to the gun violence in the community? What do parents need to do? Should they talk to their kids, or how should they talk to their kids to get a better understanding of the mental state that they're going through? Or are they afraid to go to school today? Are they afraid to go outside? Are they, what can you as a parent tell a parent that might watch this?
Well, first, you have to really know your child, and you'll see changes. Especially if you have a child that doesn't want to go to school, like a child that's being bullied. It's a reason, and you'll start seeing a difference. Check on your children and what they're doing. Go in their room. Don't knock on their door. Open the door. Go in the room. Check under pillows, mattresses.
Bust in the room like she do.
Yes. Go in the closet. Check under the covers,
What
under
you
the
doing?
bed. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm checking everything. I want to know what's in my house. Don't
Yeah.
bring no guns in here. I want to meet your friends. I want to know what they're about. I want to know, how they talking, what type of mentality do they carry. And then, just like when you sitting down eating dinner, how was your day? Let's see what's going on in school.
Right.
What's going on? You hanging out with your friends? And some people have an issue with the notion of people saying, I'm not my child's friend. Now, it's one thing to be your child's. I'm always a parent first. Let me get that correct. But it's one thing to be your child's friend and a friend's friend. But with my children, I just have that communication, that door is open.
Right.
And we can discuss anything. And to me, that's being a parent and a friend, because I don't want them to hold back. I don't want you to be afraid or ashamed to tell me anything. And what we talk about, it don't have to leave behind these closed doors. But I want to make sure that you're okay. And if you ever felt like you needed to pick up a weapon to defend yourself, let's talk about this first. Let's see what other directions we can take, even if I have to transfer schools. Because, I've been down that road before too.
Yeah.
So, even if we got to do all of that, and it's nothing to be embarrassed about. This is your life we're talking about. You only get one.
Right.
So I'm not going to play around with that.
Yeah.
And with that being said, like, even his friends come and talk to me. They call me mom. Hey, mom, they come in, and like, sometimes I can see when something is going on with them, because when they come over here, it's a little more quieter than it normally would be.
Right.
I see that they're not themselves, and I would ask them, you okay? You good, boo? You all right? You want to talk about something? So I always check in with them. I chime in with them to make sure that they're doing good. And sometimes they don't tell me everything. I don't expect them to, because I don't tell them everything. So I started doing my investigations.
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
when I started calling the friends, or I do pop-ups, you
Yeah.
know. So
Wanna
stuff like that.
want to say hi to Teresa. She's one of my favorite viewers. She's always
Hey,
checking in.
Teresa.
And
Mhm.
Teresa, you're listening, watching as we talk about the stress and um, PTSD, the effects it has on the adults during the experience of gun violence and youth and stuff. And you're listening to Shawn and to Pooh, you know, and those are their stage names. You know, you know
Yeah.
they all incognito. They got wigs and hairstyles.
Yeah.
Their names were changed to protect the innocent.
Right.
Me,
Yeah.
is that little Richard behind you? I mean,
No, it's the
oh
actually it's the can you see it?
yeah, I can see it
It's
now.
a painting.
Oh okay,
It's
yeah.
a black it's an African American woman.
Oh
I really like that portrait.
oh okay, yeah.
Hmm.
I
So I
enjoyed it.
had it yeah.
Yeah, because she looked like little. Her eyes looked like Little Richard. That's why,
Oh.
because
Okay.
I was watching the video of Little Richard today. When he was on Arsenio Hall. I did post it on my Facebook page
Mhm.
because I look for stuff that broadens your mind of things
Right.
that we don't know, and
Right.
keeping like when I talk to you about, and you say, hey, I'll come on and talk about these things as a parent and as a mother and you have the insight, and this is what is missing when they have these talks at these, because like I said, I go to these gun violence things that they do and want people to talk, and they're talking about one thing and not talking about the
Right.
really cause and effect.
The core.
Yeah, the core effect
So
that has
I
it.
mean I have something I want to say too.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what about okay, we talking about the PTSD in adults and youth
Mhm.
and the gun violence, and you asked Pooh about the friend, the youth carrying
Mhm.
guns and stuff like that.
Right.
But what about adults that feel like they have to protect themselves?
Hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Like me
Yeah.
as a female having to protect myself when I'm out with my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, or just out by myself.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. This is what.
So
Yeah. Go ahead. What was it?
go ahead, I'm
No, I
listening.
was saying is that our community, the Afro American community, is faced with a lot of problems today.
Yeah.
Women's are being missing.
Yeah.
Mhm. Children.
Young girls are being, snatched up and
Hmm.
sold in sex trafficking, and
Yep.
it's just so much going on.
It's
But we
scary.
want to spend money bringing people from other cities to tell us what to do.
Right.
Right.
Why can't we just collectively get together and you pay the people that's here to do it?
Right.
Because I can't see you spending my tax dollars bringing somebody to tell me what I've been telling y'all for 40 years.
Right.
And that ain't making sense.
It's just a funding thing.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
It's like a money thing, a money
Mhm.
grab. They're money
Right.
grabbing.
Anything that
Y'all
they
can't
see
do
as
it.
potential.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, that's why I started my own radio show to play. If it's good music, positive music, I play it. Not no one an hour. I play 4 and 5 local artists every day, every hour, because it doesn't make sense. We got the talent and nobody is playing it on the radio because you own the radio. See, they ain't telling y'all that. See,
Right.
because I went to broadcasting school, I know what the FCC rules and regulations are. You can change the radio station anytime you want to,
Mm-hmm.
if you know how to go about it. They don't own the radio station. This is the catch. They have the rights to broadcast.
Right.
They have a license to broadcast. Because you know why? Because all radio stations are operated on radiation that
Right.
can build a nuclear bomb. So when
Mm.
people are sitting up there and don't tell you the facts, well, we can't do this, we can't do that. but you playing that negative music.
Right.
But you can't play positive music. Okay.
Mm-hmm. That's sad.
And yeah, because it's a controlled environment. It's a conditioning to the mental capacity of the people in that area.
Right.
Because if you do research, they really do research. All you gotta do research to all the cities and what time they playing all that negative music.
Right.
Then you'll see what I'm talking about. But that's too much information for me to be putting on the air, for them to be shutting me down. That's why I get cut off. That's why they don't like me now.
Facebook jail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be in Facebook jail, and I'll be in jail around here because they'll pull me over. They'll pull me over, talk about your lights out. Oh, you got a gun on the seat.
Go
In my pocket. Why are you looking down at my pants, bro? You know, I keep that loaded. You know, as a metaphor, is to say, make an excuse because you don't want to educate the public to what they have the rights to.
Right.
You have a right to have clean music on the radio. It didn't change to about 2000 something. You could not play a negative song until after 1 o'clock at night, 1 or 2 o'clock at night. Now you play it 24 hours a day. And it was so important. How come Z104 don't play it?
Yeah.
How come 95.7 don't play it? Just the stations that we listen to?
Only one station played.
Yeah. That's why the person that owned it at previously, that's why he sold it. Because he said he didn't want his daughter listening to that kind of music. Mm-hmm. So he sold it. iHeart brought it after Clear Channel said, not my daughter. I don't want to be identified with that type of business. And he sold all of it. Clear Channel was the largest communications in the United States. In the United States.
I remember
you know, they just weren't here. They all over the world. Billboards, satellite, F and AM radio station. So when people are sitting there, let people just tell them anything, it's sad. Yeah. Our kids are dying. Kids are dying.
All behind.
Behind the almighty dollar control mechanism. Sad, you know. But I'm going to do what I should. Go ahead.
I said they feel like they should have mind control over everybody who pay taxes.
Well, only a certain portion. That's why it's called. That's why they broke up the red lining. Red lining meaning that you'll put in areas in your community to justify why you're there. You don't get the privileges that everybody else. That's why voting now is so. They broke it up into districts because of the red lining. You know, even your food, everything that you eat, in the things that you buy, purchase, is put in your neighborhood. That's not put in other neighborhoods. But people got to do the research.
You're right.
And we are subject to these problems because only thing we want to talk about is one thing. Everything revolves around, in the Black community, everything evolves around entertainment. Because it's lucrative in the entertainment. And if I want to control you, I spend trillions of dollars to control you. And the easiest way to control you is to entertain you. Mm-hmm. You know, the Willie Lynch syndrome was, only thing that a Black man can do for me is to entertain me. We 400 some, over close to 500 some years, just entertaining people. At some point, when we're going to wake up and say, my family is more important. My community is more important. How much money do you need? Right. You got billions and trillions. How much more money do you need for your family? Once you get millions, if you manage your money and handle it right, you'll never be broke. You'll never be broke.
That's true.
And then you got trillionaires, you got billionaires. You got so much money that you can live 3 lifetimes and still won't be broke. How much money can you go out and spend? What do you need with $1 billion? How much stuff can you buy?
You can't buy anything.
I can count for Jay-Z. But if you go on You go on his website. Go on, not Jay-Z website. Go on Shawn Carter website and see all the organizations he can donate money to. It'll take you about 15 to 20 minutes or more. Just stroll down that he donate money to. So when we sit around and saying that we got to keep bringing people from out of town to solve the problem, that
Right.
the out of towners didn't create the problem.
Right.
The people that's here on city
just about to say
council
that.
created the problem. Now they want to put it off on somebody else.
Like it was their fault.
Right. And the whole time it was yours. Because I keep telling people I've been doing this ever since from high school, walking out when there was no black cheerleader at Woodrow Wilson. Walked from Wilson all the way down to Portsmouth City Hall. Then they called the police. When the Bellamy got shot at the Earl's Market with the Narcom and Wilson game, rivalry game, and the police officer off duty shot him. He was a teenager. He ain't had no gun. He just shot him because he didn't like what he said.
That's crazy.
So when people thinking that this stuff just started, this stuff in this area just didn't started. It just, I think most young people just got fed up with you taking me for granted. And this is a better way for me to solve the problem. If you're not going to help me, I'm going to become part of the problem.
Right.
And I'll deal with it then because I don't care no more. It's really, young people are just saying, I'm fed up and I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the time. Y'all got any closing words? I try to make up for the little short time that we was off, but.
No, I just want to say thank you for having me and thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, hope that y'all be able to come back again. You know, like I said, I know this is your first time being on camera and stuff, and Pooh's been done it before when I was at WODU, but to give a different perspective from a different point of view, because y'all are my family, and you know, people like you got skeletons in the closet. Ain't no skeletons in my closet. What you want to know? I love my.
You already know that.
Hold up! Don't talk too much, man. You know, he's coming from the horse's mouth. Whoa! You know, but what I'm saying is this: I don't have a problem sharing things, but when y'all individually said, "Hey, I'd like to come on and discuss these things," that is a pride thing to say. You know, I appreciate y'all doing that. And it's not just anybody that can, blessed day. Okay. That was Teresa saying, y'all have a blessed day. And this is what this right here is. I hope many people will listen to this. You are really knowledgeable and providing much information. Tell it, Captain85, to the Willie Lynch and Won't Band together. We could be much more powerful. That's the, this young lady here, Natalie, she hits it on the head because if they do it, it's divided, we fall.
Right.
If we divide the Afro-American community to fight amongst themselves, it ain't us. We coming to your rescue when you call us.
All young dudes, they hear this in football practice, so they should know.
Right. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Right.
How can our dream work when our people are disadvantaged?
Right.
And I've been fighting it. Like I said, I used to do teen dances, and they used to tell me, Mr. Norfolk, they said, I'm going to have you arrested if you do a teen dance. And they brought 20-some police when I was doing a teen dance when I rented the Club Royal Blue. And said, Andre Foreman was the city attorney, said he's going to put you in jail. I said, well, okay. Well, have him put me in jail. I'll be doing this every week. But it didn't happen. So what I keep trying to tell people, I've been doing this fight for many years. And they always try, this is what they do. You only doing it because you want to make the money.
Right.
Yes, I do want to make the money. Why? Because I put the money back into the community.
Right.
I was giving saving bonds, doing contests, giving kids saving bonds. that I would purchase for them in their name to give them things to do. I was giving different activities, Christmas, Halloween's, parties that nobody. Wait, when the last time you see somebody do a Halloween party for kids?
It's been a long. I think you the last one.
Right,
I remember you did it every year.
right.
I actually, when I told you one of my homeboys that I had that passed away, that was the last. I think that was like 2020.
Right.
That was the last Halloween party. I mean, as far as
Kids.
for kids, I mean, you know, at the time,
See,
at the time I wasn't there yet. Or was that?
Yeah, because
No, Dad used to do it for kids every year.
for kids, major. I mean, they ain't spend no money. Everything I pay for out my own pocket. Everything I ever did, I spend my own money. That's why I don't have no money for y'all right now. But I'm working on trying to make some. Don't get it twisted. You know, I'm a little low in the dough. I'm a little low in the dough. But when I was working, before the doctor said I had to stop because of diabetes, then I get COVID. You know, that takes a toll on you, but you can't stop. You don't stop because when God tells you to do something, you do what you're sent to do. It's not about me. It's about the next generation. We're losing too many leaders, that potential leaders, people that might be able to cure diabetes, cure cancer. But we got them so that they can't believe in themselves.
Right.
We make them look in the mirror, as Michael Jackson used to say, it's the man in the mirror. So when you look in the mirror at yourself, they say, I ain't gonna be nothing. So I ain't gonna be nothing.
Right. And that's what they want to put in your head.
Right. But again, I want to thank y'all and hope that y'all, you know, want to come. The door is always open. The mic is always on, you know, and the time might be short, but hey, where can I tell you?
It's okay.
You know, but I really appreciate y'all. And I know we didn't have a lot of views, but a lot of people watch this stuff when they get off work.
Yeah.
And the numbers do increase. And because I'm on a lot of different platforms that I send it out to. And people do watch and view. But like I said, I want to thank y'all for coming on. And, you know, I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, thank you.
You know, no, I thank y'all. I mean, it's you know, for me, it's the blessing because y'all came on. This platform is designed for that reason, for people that want to come on and express instead than listening to other people's views, and they never get an opportunity to speak because I don't know how to talk. It's a natural thing. You got a voice. All you do is open your mouth, and it begins there.
As soon as you start talking.
Right. Because you got to get comfortable, you know, talking and using a camera. All that is getting comfortable with yourself and hearing yourself and seeing yourself. And then when you go back and look at it, you'll say, I didn't do too bad. That was my first time.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, well, I'm going to go ahead and start my own show now. Forget that. It's the Pooh and Who show or the Who and Pooh show, you know. But thank y'all for coming on, and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And thank those that are watching. And please share this information with people on your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and beyond. Thank you again.
Thank you. Love you.
Y'all have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye. Well, hope y'all enjoyed the show. Unfortunately, I had a technical difficulty that I have 2 servers in my house, and you know, it was a glitch. But you can also fast forward it and be able. Natalie, I was there. I thank you so much for chiming in, and hopefully, you know, I'll be back on at 3:00 for the for the WVDM radio part from 3 till 5 with Captain85 frequency distribution. And I'll be back from 5 to 6 with the Let's Get Praise Music Ministry with the voice of inspiration. Yeah, I know I play all the characters, so I can do that because that's what I do. Thank y'all again, and bye-bye, and have a blessed day.